Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Student of the Game. I am Kyle Nash, the Student of the Game, and in true Chris Berman fashion, let me be among the last to wish you a happy Halloween. Listen here, coming aboard to the Simulcast. That's the sweetest thing since candy, but it has enough beef to bring you all the protein you need to balance all of that out and bring down your A1C. Spoken like somebody who's dealt with type 2 diabetes, am I right? But listen, welcome aboard. Thank you for coming in the All Saints Day Simulcast between myself and, of course, the Huddle Up family, such that it was. Big Jim will be aboard shortly, as will EJ Christian, and the long-awaited return of Matt Muehleisen, the AJ Hawk of the Huddle Up family. Sorry, I got that wrong. But listen, I'm sorry to hear that his team's season is possibly over. But then I'm confused because the Sixers are playing now. Whose season's over? What's going on? I don't know. I'm sure once they get in, they can clear all that up for me. But I would very easily have plenty to say about the college football playoff rankings and such as they were. But considering the fact that our simulcast panel will probably talk a butt ton about that, don't you worry, folks. I have the I even have the visuals ready to go in case we do get all cray. Boom. That's called hosting, folks. Trust me. For those who are listening to the podcast and did not see the picture, trust me, there'll be plenty of talk to where whatever graphics I have will still flow their way through the podcast, which you can listen to on any of your podcast catchers, by the way. If you aren't already watching this on the Huddle Up Podcast YouTube channel or on Sir Toba Media's YouTube channel, where the struggle is real to be awesome, or the SOTG Twitch or Twitter accounts, or any of the beautiful places you could normally catch what we're doing. And of course, I got to give shouts to Devin coming into my house for once. Hey, listen, make sure you get yourself a $100 bar over there. We got a few left over from trick-or-treating last night. But anyways, speaking of Halloween and trick-or-treating such as they are, someone got one hell of a trick, and I don't mean in the way that somebody has to pay for. The Raiders cut loose one Josh McDaniels, and I figured I might as well use the joke one more last time that apparently even Mark Davis agrees that the S is for sucks. Now, guys, how'd y'all miss this one? Right? Like, I'm going to need a weapons rack for all the morning stars that I would have to commit to this franchise for even hiring Josh McDaniels in the first place. Remember, I said S because the S is for sucks. I'm milking it for all it's worth. He's fired, and now the joke is gone. Or at least some other franchise is dumb enough to hire him. But I thought about this leading into this, and I knew I had to monologue about something that wasn't about the college football playoff, which we'll talk about plenty. Don't worry about that. Somebody might even have it in there, good, bad, or ugly in the segment coming up. No, it won't be me necessarily, but I can't rule it out. Punchline's this. You do realize that the whole reason Tim Tebow was a phenomenon in the NFL, in that he was questioned as to what he would do and why he was negatively backlashed and all of that happened with him. There's one reason alone. And if I'm one Tim Tebow, no, he does not get a middle name, settle down. I'm looking Josh McDaniels in the eye and saying, and I blame you. Now, let's walk through a little bit. Tim Tebow magic, or as I used to call it back in the days when I would talk about on WTMY in Sarasota, the Tebow juice. We were all drinking that Kool-Aid, right? But then after that miracle season where he won the playoff game through the perfect pass to, I forget if it was Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas, here nor there, to get the touchdown pass to Shea Townsend, to win the playoff game, to eventually get annihilated by Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots. He was first picked number 18 overall by Josh McDaniels, and was always, even despite all the success brought by that Denver defense, by kicker Matt Prater tying and breaking NFL records, kicking field goals, and all of the above, he was always theretofore known as a bust because he was picked number 18th overall. by, the Denver Broncos, for those who don't remember where Josh McDaniels used to coach to, make this whole thing work, right? But what if Josh McDaniels drafted Tim Tebow to, the Denver Broncos at a reasonable spot? What if he was picked third or fourth overall? Right? Suddenly, he's not a bust. Suddenly, he's just that popular quarterback that was brought in for Kyle Orton after they went, 1-4 or something like that year? If that happens, is Tim Tebow applied to the same pressure, to the same standard? Is he considered the media circus that he is at the time? Now, granted, part of it was Tim Tebow doing his faith and the whole Friar Tuck thing and Tebowing being a phenomenon. But is all that true if he wasn't a number one pick? I mean, think about it. We haven't seen, like, Russell Carrington Wilson was a third rounder. Only now is he a pariah. Now, granted, part of that is because he was actually, good at the position. So it's not a perfect comparison. But I don't see, like, the Denard Robinsons or those types having commanded the same issues. Is Tim Tebow still the same media circus if he's drafted lower in a proper spot by a coach that knows what he's doing or a staff that knows what he's doing? The Raiders made the fundamental mistake of hiring Josh McDaniels, and that writing was on the wall. And all any of us had to do, who aren't getting paid millions and millions of dollars to make these decisions, saw it coming. We knew it. We aren't getting paid that. We knew what was going on. This is why people got fired beyond Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas. Devin, I totally forgot Tim Tebow was a thing. But he's even got an exhibit in the Hall of Fame, man. I'm just telling you. The NFL's trying to keep you remembering, okay? Just so you know. But, and yeah, by the way, Jacksonville Jaguar fans, not last year, I'm sorry, Urban Meyer's year, 2 years ago, rather, would prefer you forget that was a thing too, as he was on the roster at one point, if you remember correctly. But all of that to say, Josh McDaniels was such the issue that he was, and you thought he was going to fix that. Say what you will about Jimmy Garoppolo. Listen, I think his injuries finally caught up to him. That's why he's a mere fraction of the quarterback he was, and he was serviceable as best, I say, as a 49er fan. And by the way, does not have the vast array of tools that a quarterback of his, let's say, salary range commands. But at the end of the day, I personally, listen, we knew they were going to be coaches on the block. And I'm not talking about a reference of somebody with Jennifer Lopez or anything like that. I mean the chopping block, right? Black Monday late in the season, or excuse me, after this season, wasn't going to see the first firings. We knew that. Am I a little surprised that Josh McDaniels was the first one? A touch. But we saw this coming. And it's the right move for Las Vegas to make as they tried to, establish some sort of success in an, air quotes, new city. So, I mean, yeah, if anyone's surprised I thought that was a good move, that's on you. But I just wanted to remind the world that this isn't the first franchise he messed up, and it's even in the same division. So while the streets cheer in Vegas about the firing of Josh McDaniels, my question is, y'all were fools, or statement I should say is y'all were fools to let it happen in the first place. But speaking of things that are foolish, I like to think we got people coming on that help me and you be less of that every week as we talk various things, football, NFL, college, or otherwise, a group that I humbly and affectionately know as the Jabronis, the panel of Huddle Up Podcast. Let me start with the man himself, the guy that runs it all, the CEO, Big Jim Nies in the building. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Kyle? Feels weird coming into somebody else's house, but it is always friendly confines here.
Oh, absolutely. I hope it was a much happier than the last time where you were forced to pick your Cowboys against my 49ers. Anyway,
Let's not talk about that.
speaking of people who make questionable picks and are mocked for them constantly, the man who got merch on Huddle Up before I did, despite his horrible takes, give it up for EJ Christian, the tool himself. What's going on, EJ?
What's going on here at the Kyle's house as I put my feet on the couch?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hey,
Can I do that?
bleep it up, yo couch. Yeah, you would go full Charlie.
Just don't swear while you put your feet on the couch.
I'm making sure tonight I am clean.
Considering last week, by the way, Jim, I'm not sure you heard, but
I heard.
the crossover I did with him could not make it to the A7BN Sports rebroadcast this weekend.
You know why, Jim? Because I said what I said.
It's your fault.
Why would you stop now?
I blame you.
I'm trying to turn a new leaf here a little bit. I'm in your house here. I want to respect your sponsors and your all your connections here. So I'm gonna be nice today. I say I'll be as clean as my head is today.
Well, there's a first time for everything, but
Yes, right.
the most important thing I want to announce is the return of the AJ Hawk of the Huddle Up family. The man who finally has a team whose season is actually over, despite what Ernest Christian wants to tell you earlier in the year. My guy, Matt Muehleisen, in the building. What's going on, Matt?
Wow, I'm back. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that Jim's not the host. Now we can break all the rules. And I heard EJ's keeping the show as clean as his head, which looks absolutely filthy. So I guess we're in for a long night here, guys.
Family.
Oh, so Matt lives. He is here.
I'm here.
Just like his Sixers season apparently still lives on too, whether you like that or not.
They're 2-1 this year. EJ hasn't given them the kiss of death yet. And I know it was weird, EJ, but some baseball teams do play baseball in the month of October and even November. I know.
I mean,
teams not in the state of New York, but
mine did play in October last year, but it got knocked out pretty quickly. But
well,
like a day into October.
Yeah, a day or two, right? Give it a little day or two. Yeah,
see, I would call that a disgusting act, but not because Matt was aggressive. It's because you're talking freaking baseball on the show.
Anyway, get over it.
I didn't mean for my voice to crack like that, but it did, and I leaned into it, and I felt like it went pretty well.
It worked. That's right. It worked.
I don't know. With that in mind, let's get to what you guys know here on the family show of Huddle Up. Everybody's favorite opening segment, or at least mine. The good.
Do it. I didn't even know the founder.
And come on now, Jim. I've simulcasted enough to where if I didn't have the damn it, But then again, I can't be more disappointing than EJ. Anyways. With that in mind, Jim, I got to tell you,
That is a disgusting act.
What? I didn't talk baseball. Anyways, no, but with that in mind, if you're ready, sir, you go last so often. I was going to give you the opportunity to crack the can and drink the beer that is the good for this week.
Wow, it feels weird to be leading us off. You know what? I'm going to keep the good vibes rolling from Huddle Up last week, a team that I got to highlight that we don't really highlight very often, and that's the Air Force Academy staying undefeated on a snowy Friday night from Colorado last week. So I believe up to 8-0 now. Cracked the college football playoff rankings. More on that later. But yeah, look, my grandpa was an Air Force man, so you know what? Why not? Let's keep that thing rolling.
Well, it's always good when you have family who has served. Granted,
correct.
Yeah. My dad's service was crushed by the guy who said family a couple weeks back, so that is what it is. But no, good shout out there to Air Force. EJ, whose season that's over but not really are you going to prop this week?
That's funny you said that because this team we would have thought would have been over, but they're back. The Bengals, my good this week. They are back, and not only that, they are tier 1. They are tier 1 good. They're back. They're back in the Super Bowl bubble. After what we saw,
their season was over.
Yeah.
Well, people said that.
Careful, EJ. We've warned you about doing this with those 40-plus-year-old knees, man. Just be careful.
Hey, listen. But look, what did we?
Defense. I gotta swoop in on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said along with me that the Bengals were going to bounce back because this is what Joey Bird does. So
Right, not only that, and the thing was too. Also, you said weeks ago, about maybe 3 weeks to a month ago, if they got to the bye week at least 500, and for Burrow to rest the Cavs, Cavs once again, extra week, and they should be fine. And they come out and beat the team that I know Niners lost 3 in a row. I still got them a tier 1 team still, even despite that.
Natural.
Was that
nothing? What happened?
No, you come out there and you have that performance. That was probably Joe Burrow's best game as a pro. Not even joking. This past Sunday.
I don't know about all that.
That was a great performance by Joe Burrow. He had 16 points.
It was a great performance, but the best of his career, EJ.
No, I'm not including college. I'm just saying pro.
He took his team to the Super Bowl 1 year and had some pretty good games.
He was never Matt. He was never that good in that stretch run. He was never that good.
Well, not postseason he wasn't, but he's had some other bomb games.
He was solid.
Look, we all had the Bengals. We all had the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. Most of us, I think, winning the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So, we're having fun, obviously, with EJ going from I think what they were 10 in your rankings a week ago to
now number 1.
You're a tier 1 team now, but
more on that later.
But more on that later. But
created a new tier. Just for the Bengals.
Matt, wait, Matt, I missed you, man. I'm sorry. I missed the smart ass shit.
We're back.
Jim, there's something you gave me for this occasion. Wait, not that one. I didn't upload it. Crap. It was supposed to be the my fault.
I
tried.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Bengals bouncing back and kind of riding the ship. I don't think anybody's going to be super surprised on you.
You'd be surprised. More are than should be, but yeah, exactly, Jim. I didn't even get out the Morning Star for this one. We saw it coming, but anyways, from the city of brotherly love, as he sports his Kelly Green, which looks pretty awesome there, man. I got to tell you. What's your good, my guy?
I'm gonna go homer for one of these, and it's gonna be this one. Because if Notre Dame finishes 1-11 in the season, they better be that one against USC. They finish 2-10. That second one better come against Pitt. And giving Pat Narduzzi the biggest beatdown of his coaching career is just the cherry on top of what has been a mediocre Sunday that has been the Notre Dame football season. So to come out and convincingly beat a team that you should convincingly beat, it's happening more often than not in the Marcus Freeman era, in terms of us seeing them get these style point wins, not something that happened as frequently under Coach BK. So it's good to see that. It's good to see Pittsburgh falter. Always, never going to turn that down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't see Jerkovic on the field at all, so it's a shame. I mean, you would think that a guy with such high talent, in his third school in as many years, would be able to see a playing field, especially in a beatdown such as that, where there was nothing to play for.
He was tweeting. He was hate tweeting Notre Dame from the locker.
I asked though, what's with the Pitt hate? I don't get it. What's the
because they can.
Okay, is it something I missed? I don't know.
First of all, it's a conference game, so it's a big deal.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Wait. Somewhere in here is going to come.
There you go. There you go, Kyle. Kyle lobbed you. There you go.
Yeah, but by the way, I did have a number of goods set up in case one of you Notre Dame homers did bring up the fact that you managed to clobber Pitt without 3 overtimes. So that's fantastic. See, I don't want you to ruin it.
I mean, I knew it was coming around at some point.
2 games in a row, too, that Notre Dame has handed their opponent coach the worst loss in their career. So fingers crossed we see that 3 weeks in a row. I don't think it happens because Dabo did have that, 70-30 defeat in a bowl game recently.
Like that.
So,
I was actually.
He's had his team fired up this week after verbally berating a 12-year-old on a radio. I'm sure the Clemson Tigers will respond accordingly.
What a softie he is.
No, listen. I was at the LSU Purdue game for the Citrus Bowl here. Okay, that was a beatdown too. I could have gone without that, but it was a good opportunity to go shake Brian Kelly's hand and remind him that we could be family with how many times I've had press conferences with him. See, and that's good production right there. I just whisper LSU and Jim's ready to go. That's called talent, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, I'm going to go this direction because I don't think I'm going to be able to call this young man's name again in this particular piece. And while I can definitely be accused of let's say hating on this team a bit at times, the accuracy of my analysis of them has been anything but fraudulent. That being said, when the fraud cons got smashed for 4 touchdowns by one Will Levis, who the Titans managed to pick out of the second round, I got to throw a little good in there just for the exposure of how much the fraud cons were recognized to be the frauds in question. Listen, I picked the Titans to win 7 games this year, and I'm pretty sure one of them was over the fraud cons. And I thought that would happen even with Desmond Ridder. Here comes Taylor Heineke. Listen, they might be a playoff threat now. Hashtag I said it. Like, this isn't up there with Geno Smith in New York, who's now a good quarterback.
Were you copying EJ's notes with a knee jerk like that, or I'm just trying to keep up?
But you missed. You see, sir, you missed the prelude. I may not say this man's name again. That was the lead. See,
That is fair.
I have adequate wrap around my knee to prepare myself for the jerkiness of the movement. And
Smart
at the risk of, that's what she said, mentioning the term jerkiness of the movement in front of you jabronis is its own risk.
That's what she said. See, he's smooth with it. I just ran for the hills.
Drop bombs.
I just drop bombs.
Listen,
take. So
there's this. There wouldn't be this much bombing if you were a stand-up comedian, EJ. Anyways, so listen, you tried to wreck my show. Thank you. Speaking of EJ with stand-up comedy, let's start with Matt with our edition of the bad. Matt, who you got?
So I think my bad for this week, and it was borderline ugly, but I'm going to save that for something else, is going to be EJ's New York Giants and Coach Brian Daboll and that bad Coach of the Year award that he was gifted last year.
Still deserves it.
First of all, stop it. Second, you forgot to say the term Coach of the Year in your open, but you got to, and I'm okay with that. EJ Christian, you're bad, sir.
Well, my bad should be Bally Sports Plus because for the second Heat game in a row, I missed now because they have another outage. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh my God! Who the hell?
I'm paying you idiots $20 a month. Have your stuff ready to go. Okay, I'm trying not to cuss tonight. Really, I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying. Anyway,
I was gonna say, Jim, do you have my "Who Gives a Shit" soundbite?
He cursed it. It's over. It's over.
You already blew it, EJ.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. No, my bad actually, man, is Kirk Coupon.
The Giants.
Well, we'll get in there in a second. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And here's why it's bad for me, especially. I'm another take coming.
You're a Vikings fan. Yeah.
Give my where's it at? Skull. There we go. Thank you. Had he survived this game, obviously they won the game because Green Bay in Lambeau. Had he survived this game, I was ready to lock him up as a wildcard team. Yes, I said it. Do you seen him and Cousins and Jordan Addison the last couple weeks? They're connecting now. You'll get Justin Jefferson back some point down, in a couple weeks. The NFC below them? Who do you trust, really? Who do you trust? Maybe the Rams?
That was perfectly timed, Jim. Well
done.
Who?
Thank you. Seriously. Also, great. It's a hot take. But seriously, look at the NFC. Below Minnesota. Below Minnesota, though. Who do you trust?
Hot takes from EJ Christian? I did not sign up.
See, EJ, here's the problem with locking things in is there are these things called injuries that can happen and just totally derail a team.
Of course. Well,
I don't know, Kirk Coupons tearing his Achilles.
That's why God made a key to unlock it. It's okay. It's okay, Matthew. We can unlock things too also.
Not how any of this works.
But the bottom line is that, look, it ain't happening because Cousins is gone for the year. So it doesn't matter. I was ready to lock him up for wild card, at least a wild card spot.
Now I hope they make it just because you said they won't.
We'll see if the Josh Dobbs, Jared, what's his name? What's the guy's name? The rookie quarterback, Jared something?
No. Jaron Hall, Jillian Hall.
He's starting this week apparently, but they got
Mason
Josh
Jar or something like that.
But
David Michael Hall, what?
Yeah, something like that.
By the way, I did forget to throw in Devin's good. Take a guess. The Finns trouncing the Pats. I mean, sure, if you're into bullies beating up the 8th grader, you know.
I mean, look.
Cool story, bro.
I mean, granted, you did offend the Pats fan on the panel. Do you have a rebuttal, EJ?
Stop it. Go Dolphins.
Jim, you're bad, sir.
My bad. And look, we all love Joel Klatt, and
rightly so.
But man, this guy's inability, he's going on and on and on. And don't get me wrong, his shredding of the college football playoff committee this week on his show was really, really good and justified. But him not understanding why Oklahoma is below Texas despite beating Texas just absolutely blows my mind. Oklahoma shouldn't be in the top 10. I don't care that they beat Texas. And here's the thing, they lost to Kansas. What is like one of my favorite college football analysts not understanding about this? Yes, head-to-head they beat Texas. Texas didn't lose to Kansas, Joel. It's that simple, man. Like, that is why Texas is or Oklahoma is below Texas. I think Oklahoma is still too high, but I guess just at this point, there's been enough losing that I don't know who all you still put above them. But, man, that's why. Like, Oklahoma fell because they lost to Kansas. It's that simple.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
I mean,
likely
you
confused
have to
because
be-
of Louisville's
Go ahead.
placement up there after they lost to Pitt.
Yeah.
But they beat Notre Dame, so they have to be ahead of Notre Dame was probably the logic there.
Oh no! Is Matt
So-
coming up with something that's going to come up later to bring something else in common with 2 Ohio teams? And I don't mean Ohio State teams, but teams that reside
University
in
of
Ohio.
Cincinnati.
More on that later. But listen, you don't have to write for the black and gold banneret, Big Jim, to understand that they also damn near lost to UCF. By the way, bing. A team that Kansas trounced, I believe it was a 50 burger to 22.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
Oklahoma's
bleep are
not
you
good.
doing here? Now, granted,
Oklahoma's not good.
yeah, they aren't top 10. Meanwhile, you keep jipping teams like Washington because they struggled earlier to teams that should have lost to Boston College in an epic 30-29 victory over Thomas Castellanos at quarterback. What are we doing?
Who?
Unfortunately, Jim, Joel I listened to that podcast literally an hour ago before we came on here. That same segment, and Joel Klatt's correct what he said.
No, he's absolutely not. And you're an absolute moron. And
it is what it is. Look. The correct. Come on. The correct way should have been Alabama ahead of both those teams. First off, Alabama 7. Oklahoma 8, Texas.
Let's stay with
Texas
this
8,
for a
Oklahoma
minute
9.
when we get to the CFP talk, because
Right.
we don't have the graphic and you're making references and it's just overall bad comparison and let's not make it too choppy for the podcast. But Jim,
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. But yeah, listen. To Jim's point, as somebody who thinks Joel Klatt is the best college analyst out there, he blew.
rightly so.
Yeah, thank you for clatting me on that one. But yeah, so I had to clap for you, Jim, because I thought I was the only one that was going to have the Klatt take. I was not completely ready for you to swing in. See, this is the reason why Jim hosts, and so I can flounder and make mistakes. But no, I don't have to flounder and make too many mistakes. I'll ask you this, fellas.
Okay.
Am I looking at the right week when North Carolina loses to Georgia Tech? Is that something I see? That's a thing that happened. Am I hallucinating?
That is the thing that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 2 in a row for North Carolina. Isn't it?
They lost again. Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Come on, man.
I don't care about North Carolina, man.
Why
What
we
am-
can't have nice things? His
I'm
name
number
is-
Find
4,
out the
man. I'm number
language.
4 right now. I'm number 4 right now in the country. So relax.
No, you're
No.
really not, or at least you won't be.
More on that later.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Thank you, Jim. Perfect. But yeah, please tell me more and more about how excited I should be about the Tar Heels. Anyway, apparently that take was stung like it was by a yellow jacket. Anyways,
Oh, I see what you did.
I thought you might. And listen, oh yeah, Devin had his bad in here. I don't think it was about the Dolphins. Yeah, my bad. And this is a good one. My bad is the Chiefs giving me false hope.
False hope. False hope.
To beat them in Germany. Yeah, that's fair. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs fans out there would call that win ugly, But hey, listen, if anybody's going to start off the ugly segment, who better than EJ Christian? Who's your ugly, EJ?
That's racist. No joking. My ugly. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. These jabronis knows the New York Football Giants.
Wow.
It stinks.
Ask my 10-year-old son. The last 2 minutes in overtime that game, all I did was laugh.
Is that Travis or Patrick? I can't keep track of which one.
Both kids, really. Either one.
Oh, really? Because I thought you had
touching on you just to
channel.
laugh at you, or
No,
you were laughing. You were laughing.
I was laughing. And they were like, "Wait, yeah, we laughing at this. This is comedy. This is comedy.
Laughing
This
so
team
you
is
wouldn't
terrible."
cry.
That too.
I thought they would be comfortable with the laughing because you're a Cowboys fan and you were enjoying the Giants losing that much.
I need a drink. This team is this team is
hey, they made the playoffs last year.
Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs, coach of the year. Danny Dimes getting his extension.
Allegedly.
Oh no, he got that money. That ain't fake.
Oh, I
know
that meant to be for coach of the year.
I know.
One more year. One more year. This crap. So my
You
the Giants.
think.
Yeah, I was
Be
gonna
careful
say,
what you wish for,
grass ain't always
EJ.
greener, EJ.
Matthew, don't start your crap.
Like what? Are they going to fire Dabo?
No, of course not. No, I'm not on that wagon either. There's some of that out there. I'll tell you right now. And I'm like, stop, please stop.
And rightly so.
Right.
Anyways,
It's an overrated coach.
Maybe.
Whatever.
We'll see year 3.
I think it's appropriate to go from Cowboys fan to Eagles fan. Matt, you're ugly, sir.
I was gonna do the Giants again, but
you might as well. It's apropos, really.
No need to pile on here. I think what I will really focus on will be the Chicago Bears, not so much in terms of the season they're having because they are facing injuries, but what are we doing acting as buyers at the trade deadline, Bears?
Thank you.
Like in what world does giving up another second round pick, because we didn't learn from last year when we traded basically a first rounder for Chase Claypool, not on the team anymore. But here we are now trading another second round pick for someone who is at the end of their contract and may or may not remain in Chicago or may test out free agency and, I don't know, try to play for a team that has a semblance of winning on the horizon. So I'm just unsure of what the franchise overall is doing, but whatever they are doing, it's ugly.
Matt, the Bears are only 3 games out of a wild card spot, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, EJ already lost in the Vikings.
So the Giants too.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, in my defense, I have to say I did, or the Bears' defense, I should say, I did have them winning 8 games back in August. What the
I had them as a wild card.
They had as a wild card team, Matt, right?
Yeah, I think I played with them as a wild card for fun, but they were like one of 4. They were one of 4 NFC teams I had at 8 games among.
They're definitely not frisky, EJ.
Yeah, not at all. But I'm not saying you're wrong, Matt. I don't know if it's so far as to ugly because Montez Sweat is going to be talent-wise a better defensive lineman than whatever you would get out of the second round. The Claypool thing, criticize that all you want. That cool. But I feel like they have something more solid there. And also to your point, I think the biggest issue is that it's that high a draft pick. But considering the capital that they got from the Panthers, for them to make the mistake with Bryce Young, it softens the blow somewhat. But I'm not here to say your criticisms are invalid.
It's more so that he's on an expiring deal. Like they'll have the money to pay him anyway. Why waste the draft pick to do that? Like what's going on?
Why are you getting him now?
You bring him in now, and he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm staying here.
This is the house I want to be in."
That's more my confusion.
Okay, I can see that. I could see that too. But I guess my retort would be: it's time to kick the tires. This is similar to the criticism of the Calvin Ridley acquisition 2 years ago, or no, last offseason. It's confusing because it was so early. In Jacksonville. Now, granted, that was only, I think, a 4th, or I think the least it was going to be was a 4th. And if Calvin really does enough, it could get up to a 2nd. I don't know if he's on pace to get that because he's been up and down, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there's elements here where, I'll only say your take is a bit pessimistic, but I'm not here to say it's wrong. I don't know. This is a good conversation. I like it.
I mean, I think when the Jags made the trade for Ridley, like obviously they knew he was going to be out for a year, but like you could see the trajectory of that team was going this way. Like I don't know that we are seeing a similar trajectory with the Bears that you're like, yeah, let's get this guy in the room. We don't need that high pick. Unless the thought is like, look, let's get this guy in here, get him comfortable with the organization because we have the coaching pieces in place and we want to like build a foundation off of him, maybe is the logic there. I don't know. But yeah, I think giving up the high pick because you're going to struggle to get that back.
They got him back from Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I think you still need more to fix that franchise. So and here's the thing: if they are, as you know, the rumors tend to lend us towards, is that they're going to be one of the teams that's in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, assuming he does choose to leave.
Rightly so.
Then you would think that moving on from Justin Fields, maybe you're going to look to get some trade or a draft capital back in that deal. So maybe this is the first of many steps. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know, but great convo piece. I will definitely say that, Matt, 100%. Jim, you're ugly.
My ugly is in East Rutherford, New Jersey. There's a team called the Giant. No, okay, we beat up on them enough. Actually, that was one of my uglies, but no, I think in the aftermath of two losses this past weekend, one team we talked about, another one we didn't. Some post-game comments, maybe taken a bit out of context, but Pat Narduzzi and Deion Sanders both kind of making some comments about his players in the room that maybe wasn't the smartest thing to say. I think Narduzzi's comments were along the line of, we thought we did a good job replacing our good players. Apparently we didn't. And Deion saying something along the lines of, we're going to just have to go get new offensive linemen to protect our quarterback. And while maybe not necessarily wrong on either account, I don't know that it's, when you still have 4 games to play, especially in the case of Colorado, you have a lot of big games coming up and you need to win, I think, 2 of them to become bowl eligible. I mean, Deion's Deion. Again, we've talked about that before on this show, on my show, on Huddle Up on Tuesdays, but like, bing, it's when you got tougher opponents still in the barrel, throwing your offensive line under the bus a bit may not be the smartest play, but prime, and that's what he's going to do.
No, and I guess the only retort I would offer would be that it's not just prime, although it is, because I mean, hey, who saw the damn first meeting with Deion stepping on campus? If you haven't watched it, that's where that vibe comes from. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But I would also add, I believe I'm going to give what I call the Orgeron Fournette defense, meaning coming up 6 years ago, Leonard Fournette missing the Citrus Bowl made national damn news. 5 years later, I was covering the Citrus Bowl, and every coach, whether it be for the Camping World Bowl, the Cure Bowl, every bowl in Orlando, all 6 coaches in their coaching pregame press conference had to comment on guys missing the game. I think Deion's kind of comments are that kind of taboo now, Jim. I'm 100%. What I'm saying is, as the NIL becomes more, what's his word, standardized in our minds in the psyche of college football, I think you're going to see more comments like that moving forward, especially from guys who are a little bit more spicy on the mic, like Deion Sanders, right? I would say Dabo, if he was, forward thinking enough to take in the NIL, but whole other conversation. Yeah, I'll go this route too, because I pretty much assumed Jim would go here, and I think it needs to be addressed. And much to my chagrin, there'll be a lot less hitting of the Marge button. And that's people convicting Michigan before anything has even been charged, technically. All we know is that there's news trickling out and that a firm approached the NCAA committee and said, hey, look at this. And by the way, last time Michigan had allegations on a Big Jim there, let's just say it had about as much sizzle on it as somebody making a hamburger. Anyways, what, too soon? So yeah.
About a hamburger, man.
I mean, and to your point that you've made very well on your Twitter account, Big Jim Sports. He's gonna, multiple national personalities are rallying the court of public opinion to go after and basically condemn Michigan. Now, I will say, and I have to do this just in the name of showing the world that I can be neutral on things. To the defense of Stephen A. Smith, I don't feel like he was necessarily calling for punishment of Michigan per se, but he did call into question the look, air quotes, the optics, as my friend EJ Christian would call it. Should these, what's his word, allegations, are they even allegations? Should these reports, there we go, hold any real weight? And that comes to light after they've won the national championship. That's pretty damn sticky. There's some molasses there. So, but I don't know that that's Michigan's problem per se. It sounds like an NCAA problem to me.
Well, the funny thing about the national title game, and it was pointed out in the college football playoff show, ranking show last night, is the college football playoff is separate from the NCAA.
Oh, it's an invitational. Listen, as somebody who writes for the Black and Gold Banneret and has had to talk about the 2017 national championship for however many years, I'm well aware.
Yeah. So I mean, now, granted, if these things do turn out to be true and whatnot, I'm sure the playoff committee will react in such, and not leave a national championship should it happen on the board. But it's that's the thing I've been saying from the jump is, and it's kind of why I've avoided it for the last couple of weeks on Huddle Up, is that right now there's not really anything. You're speaking on rumor and hearsay, really, at this point. And if it turns out to be true, then hand out punishment as punishment needs to be handed out. But at this point, there was a report, there was an independent firm that obtained evidence of some kind in some fashion, which,
that's not shady,
right? Which again, once the NCAA completes their investigation, I'm sure the Michigan in their appeal would certainly want to find out exactly how that information was obtained. But again, that's not for the court here to decide on November the 1st, 2023. But yeah, it's there's allegation, there's report, there's investigation, and that's what we know. And we know what unnamed sources have anonymously said to, in vague quotes to people in the media. Cool.
Vague quotes. Vague.
Cool. Yeah. So, I think that the smartest thing and legally speaking, and I'm sure the best lawyers that Michigan money can buy have told them, stay quiet, keep your head down, do your business. And that's what's happening.
By the way, there is something I do think we need to address on this show. We have unique access to that sort of thing. I'm going to go live to EJ in the security van. Can you tell us what the sources of those tapes were? He wasn't ready for that one. I got him good on that one.
I hate you.
Oh, crap. I'm glad we got uplifted on that joke, gentlemen, because it's got to get really dark and evil in here. The College Football Playoff Committee got together, and I was hoping that they would take us towards the ball for a championship. Maybe Cinderella would make it, maybe she wouldn't, but all we sure as hell got on Halloween was a pumpkin. Gentlemen, your college football playoff rankings. Matt, I'm gonna let you tee off. What'd you see that do you agree? What do you see that you like? Anything that you didn't? Go ahead and lead us off.
I think it would have to start with Ohio State at 1 and not Georgia. I think when you've had a team as powerful as Georgia has been, to have them any lower than 1 would need to show that they've really fallen flat and, stumbles here and there, sure, but every single team in the top 25 has had those same stumbles. So to put Ohio State up there at 1, I get you're propping them up based on their victories over, I guess, Notre Dame and Penn State. So what really are we doing here? I guess is my question with this logic behind having the Buckeyes at 1, who at no point in this season have looked like the far and away best team in the country, in my opinion. A good team, a top 4 team, sure. Number 1, no. That's
listen, I would think you golfed as often as Jim with the way you teed that off. I can't really defend it. I will break down the Penn State situation if we get that far, but
they're too high.
Yeah, well, I see what you did there. They're too high without any mention of Colorado being on these rankings. Anyways, there is Washington though, so that's worth it. Anyway, EJ Christian, what do you see here that you dig or do not like?
Well, Ohio State's too high. Look, the top 4 team. As much as I pain to say that, the top 4 team, but it should not be number 1. Michigan, Georgia should be 1 and 2. Washington honestly should be in top 4. Look, I'm a Florida State fan. I'm a Florida State mark, but if they had Florida State behind Washington at 5 instead, I'd be okay with that, honestly.
Excuse me for just a moment, EJ Christian. Jim, because he made such a good take, could I have Rick Sanchez, please?
Wait, who?
Rick Sanchez.
What am I missing here?
Rick and Morty, Chief.
Oh. There it is.
This guy gets it.
Thank you, sir. Well done, EJ. Continue.
Because, really think about it. Like, Washington right now has the best. I would have said weeks ago, like, Texas, Oklahoma beating Texas was the best win of the year. But right now, the best win of the year, honestly, is Washington over Oregon.
I already hit this guy gets it. How many times?
This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
You need to get another one from
right. So
from Archer, where the guy says, "I can only get so direct." Okay.
So, in my opinion, it should be okay. You can squabble 1 and 2, Michigan, Georgia. I'll go Michigan 1 just because they've been look better than Georgia, but whatever. Michigan 1, Georgia 2,
and rightly so.
Ohio State 3 is fine, and then Washington 4.
I'll even listen. If anyone should be at 3 when they're not, I would say Georgia because their schedule is relatively weak. And I don't buy into the Ric Flair defense. And that's not me hating on anybody who says Georgia should be 1. I just think there's a lot more to dance with there. But yeah, I'm with you on that part. Anybody else? Anything else, EJ, you want to add before I go to Jim?
Other than that, like I said earlier on the podcast, 7, 8, 9. Look.
You mean on the student game report of Ernest?
No, right now on this show, right here,
gotcha.
On this here show. No, that Bama. I think Bama should be 7.
Really?
Bama 7, Texas 8, Oklahoma 9, or Oklahoma 8. Texas
okay,
9,
wait a minute. So then they would be ranked ahead of. No, well, that would be interesting because Oklahoma beat Texas,
right?
Who is now ranked ahead of them,
right?
And then Alabama would be ahead of Texas,
who lost it to
lost to Texas,
right? But Texas also has isn't yours out for a couple weeks now too? On top of that,
look, does that matter?
You have to kind of use recency bias to some degree as well. That's what they're doing as well.
No. Recency bias is not a good thing, sir. And recency bias is the reason why your Knowles Homer is 4, because they forgot about Thomas Castellanos, which I know earlier you said who, but apparently you do have to be a member of the Black and Gold Banneret, who actually covered him back when he was a UCF backup quarterback to John Rice Plumlee before transferring to BC.
Right.
Hashtag NIL.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm necessarily ready to sign off in Alabama at 7 yet. I don't think they've looked that impressive. They can, not that I necessarily think LSU is the number 14 team in the country, but
Alabama can off on the family. That's no surprise there.
Alabama can certainly make a more of a powerful statement than they've made all year if they beat up big game Brian on Saturday night. So no, and yeah, I'm kind of with EJ there on with the point about Michigan being 1 over Georgia, because if everybody talks about the strength of the schedule,
Homer,
they're similar.
Marge.
They're similar in strength of schedule. Neither are that great. But the one thing Michigan's done that Georgia hasn't is beat up every opponent, but by a sizable margin. Georgia has not done that. Georgia struggled at times. Michigan hasn't really yet. Obviously, Michigan has their two biggest games still in front of them. Penn State next week, Ohio State Thanksgiving weekend. Ohio State struggled against Penn State. Ohio State was not the best team for about 59 minutes and 30 seconds on a September Saturday in South Bend. So I don't. They're not the number one team in the country. Washington absolutely should be 4. I think there could even possibly be a case for Oregon to be above Florida State, but we'll see. I mean, again, the teams of so even if you put Florida State down to 6, you then, I mean, the teams above them are going to play themselves out, for the most part anyway. So, and that's the thing I always try to stress. As bad as this steaming pile that the committee served us last night is, the thing I've always preached with these playoff rankings is the first one is not what the last one will be. And a lot of these teams still have to play themselves out. But again, why is Oklahoma in the top 10, man? This team is not a top 10 team. But when we start playing that game of who do you put above them?
Ask you that.
Do you put Ole Miss above them? Do you put Penn State above them? Do you put Missouri above them?
Yes.
Do you put Louisville above them?
Missouri definitely. I see a case for that one.
And they, no, Missouri plays Georgia this week. I keep thinking Missouri's still in the Big 12, but nothing makes sense in college football anymore because middle of the country is easily the Southeast Conference, but it's even going to get sillier next year. So we move Ole Miss above them. You move Missouri above them. Okay, there you go. Then they're out of the top 10.
Jim, as somebody who covers UCF with the black and gold banneret.com, seeing Arizona State on my 2024 docket as well as Colorado, please come at me about the crazy, okay?
So it just gets and look, I mean, you can call me a hater, you can call me a Notre Dame homer, whatever. USC at 20 is a joke too. I'm sorry.
You're not wrong.
They are. I mean, not that a team that's 20 right now is really going to make a whole lot of noise, but I thought Joel Klatt really made a good point when talking about these rankings is the committee really did the laziest thing possible. They did the path of least resistance. They did the undefeated teams, the 1-loss teams, the 2-loss teams, and then they did, here's a couple of group of 5 teams at 24 and 25. So everybody should just be happy.
By the way, Jim, you know what those are? Because those aren't rankings. You want to know what those actually are?
What's that?
Standings.
Exactly. It's weak, it's sad, it's pathetic, but hey, it's the college football playoff.
Hey, listen, Joel Klatt complaining about ADs in this thing,
and rightly so.
Oh, you know who's been doing that for years and mocked for it with this panel?
Tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Oh my God, that was a sexy thing you just did. Thank you, Jim.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Well, I need to host more often. Jim loves me. Holy shit.
So the camera move a little bit there. Okay,
I almost no, I was shaking that much, dude. I'm not going to front on it. Like, for those who are listening to the podcast, the camera shake is me laughing and bumping the table here on my studio setup. Jim almost wrecked me with his tribute. Listen, if I don't know, man. And I'll go this way. And first of all, Matt, let me apologize to your wife immediately. Penn State's going to get the business. Okay. I'm just throwing that out there. I like the point Jim made about USC. I made a similar point on the Student of the Game report on the Earnestly Speaking podcast when they were just ranked 22 amongst the writers. And I thought that was trash and they shouldn't be in the top 25. Speaking of spot number 22, the actual biggest just blatant crime against humanity on this entire ranking is Oklahoma State. What the hell are they doing in the top 25? What are we doing? I mean, listen, I get recency bias, even though that's stupid. I get resume, all this other crap.
What'd you do?
I don't get hairdo on the list of part of what gets you in the college football playoff. If that's there, first of all, they got it wrong. Mike Gundy's wow. Mike Gundy's mullet's already number 1 if you go by hairdo. So they're wrong.
I'm 40.
It's hedging their bet, Kyle, for justification. So when Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State next week, they can say,
Top
Look
25
at this
win.
top 25 win.
Lock it up. Top 25 win.
Come after me.
Wow, that's not just conspiracy theory, gentlemen. And by the way, to Joel Klatt's point too that he makes on his podcast, which I mean, Joel Klatt stands for how wrong he was, nonetheless, about Ohio State and other aspects. These rankings do matter.
Rightly so.
Thank you, sir. And these rankings do matter. He mentioned coaches. Who gives a bleep about that? We're fans, whatever. But it does impact recruiting. Hey, we were in the top 25 for so many weeks in 2023. If we had you, we could get to the CFP. That pitch writes itself. It sounds like something Brian Kelly would do as he's going to a player to recruit for LSU before he gets football.
You say that as if Brian Kelly goes places to recruit.
I mean, to be fair, he did text the Notre Dame team from a recruiting visit. Yo, bitches, I'm out. Sorry. He said,
no, bitches is fine.
He said, yo, bitches, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, I think that's what the sources say. The tweet said, or the text said. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. It's allegedly.
I'm not sure if it's totally accurate or not.
Allegedly.
Jim's conferring with the sources. By the way, as you point that out, Jim, I'm forced to say that's the joke. So,
That's the joke.
let's. So here it is, and it's the part that I had to. One day I'm sure I'm going to meet Mrs. Muehleisen, and we'll just leave out the tirade that's about to happen here. But gentlemen, if your biggest win is Iowa, I love the laughter. I didn't even say anything. All I hear is Big Jim cackling as if he's like a prop to a house. I'm taking my kids trick-or-treating at like, by the way, the Hawkeyes who have taken down juggernauts such as Michigan State and Purdue. So exciting, right? But
Thing sucks.
wow. I wasn't ready. By the way, inches away from losing to the absolute juggernauts of football that is IU. No offense to Michael Penix, of course. And this is the group you want me to believe is the 11th highest team in the nation. This wouldn't be the first time, though, that this sort of thing happened where a team was completely outranked. And I know you Notre Dame homers, all three you Irish on this panel, was going to say I was going to blame Notre Dame for Ohio State's being placed too high. I may have teased it thus, but that's a whole other question. Granted, I don't think they're being penalized enough for their conference loss to Louisville, but
way out of line, way out of line.
But I do think Penn State, what the hell? If we're going by resume, the very argument you're using to lift up Ohio State holds zero weight with the resume you're telling me they have. What? Iowa? But, hey, listen, I'm just a conspiracy theorist for mentioning Iowa was ever really ranked in the CFP in the past because the chairman was the AD from there. Whatever. I'm just Jerry from Conspiracy Theory, and I was played by Mel Gibson. I don't even have a thing for Julia Roberts. How did this get here? Anyways.
But hey, Kyle, Iowa was 24th in the country when Penn State beat them, Kyle.
Excuse me, Jim.
That's a top 25 win.
Can you give yourself a shut your ass, please?
Shut up, bitch.
There you go. No, that's not acceptable. Now, in the name of keeping some positivity, I like how they treated Ole Miss. I like how they treated Mizzou. I like how they treated Oregon State. The respect Utah got. Listen, I'm starting to become a Utah stan myself like Jim was last year. And I like where they put Kansas State.
I blame you.
You probably do, and I wouldn't, but listen, you can't see me. That's the only thing I'm grateful for. But there's just so much wrong, and I didn't even get to touch on how Tennessee's completely wrong, how Notre Dame is a bit too high, but then again, that's the committee's fault. Because they almost beat the number one team, right, Jim?
Anyway. Rude about it.
Well, I'm not being rude to you. I'm being rude to the committee.
I felt
By the way, you want to have the conversation of for so many minutes. For the first 30 minutes, your number 4 team was getting beat by number 14 LSU. Where are we talking about that?
Well, and then, we'll talk about
it. Took a miracle.
We'll talk about that game, Brian, in a couple minutes.
Clemson.
What was that, Matt?
I said it took a miracle for Florida State to hold on against Clemson, too.
Oh, God, why'd you have to bring that up? I only ate 2 hours ago, buddy. Damn. And I blame you. That's easy.
10 years of my life. Yeah, I blame 2 years of my life for that one. That was a bad game.
Jeez. Anyways, I swear, if you guys find a way, well, I don't think you can lose.
It'd be worse when the U beats them in a couple weeks.
You better cut your crap now, buddy.
I don't know.
Way out of line. Way out of line.
That's Andy. So that's enough about these silly rankings.
Oh yeah, the U that you had going to the playoff last year. That team. Yeah.
Can you keep it?
It'd be fun enough if they just knock a team out of the playoffs this year, which they will.
Oh my!
I'll say this though: Florida State cannot. They have to win out. They have to win out this year. They lose one game, they're done.
Oh, by the way, in the name of EJ,
that's how that works, EJ.
No, what I'm saying, they have 0 chance to get in the playoff. 0 chance.
In the tradition of EJ breaking news here, all of you breathe oxygen.
I'm gonna say I don't think a one-loss team.
Well, yes, if a one-loss Florida State with that loss coming against Pitt, North Alabama, or Florida.
I think also Louisville cancels the match.
I don't think a one-loss Florida State team will leapfrog any one-loss team in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, are you advertising for a hotel? You're Captain Obvious right now, Chief.
No, including Oklahoma. I'm saying, including teams like Oklahoma.
Yeah, we're agreeing with you.
No one's debating you.
No one is saying no, EJ. A one-loss Florida State.
Their margin error is very, very thin.
Here's what we're doing, EJ. Okay, we're making sure you can't misappropriate a Morning Star again or claim you're some great prophet when they do lose a game and miss the playoff. We effing know. Okay.
Which game is it? You think? He said
Miami.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
The only reason I'm not is because I still think that the players don't trust the coaching staff for that flub against Georgia Tech. I think that hit them that hard.
Probably one of the worst things I've ever seen, man.
Oh my God!
And listen, I've talked to that their center Matt Lee in press conferences because he was at UCF before he transferred. I like that kid, and to see him suffer that really broke my heart. I hated it.
Awful stuff, man.
Anyways, Jim, let's hit the degenerate block of the picks this week, shall we?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? We can hit that on the college slate. 4 games, all with top 25 implications. Number 23, Kansas State is 6-2. They travel to number 7, Texas, who is 7-1 and a 4-point home favorite. 50.5 is your over/under. Saturday, noon Eastern time on Fox. I will lend to the host first, Kyle.
You know, first of all, and this is fresh off of me saying I like Kansas State and where they are in the rankings. Okay, I have to stress that for all the bitching I did earlier. I want to make it clear that there was a handful of things, a mere handful of things. Let me stress that I liked. Listen, Kansas State has the opportunity to do something and shock the world and get themselves certainly within the top 15, possibly. One would think. Maybe getting Oklahoma State off the top 25. What are we talking about? That being said, I have no reason to believe it shows. I have no reason to believe it happens. And rightly so, because Joel Klatt will probably be calling that game.
And rightly so.
I don't care what the over is. Bet it. And I think Texas will cover as well.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I think 4 seems a little bit low for what we've seen out of Texas and what we've seen out of Kansas State. So I will take Texas minus the 4 points, and I'm definitely going to bet the over there.
All right, EJ.
Oh, no. Give me the upset. K-State outright wins this game. But I will take the over, though.
You think Texas is going to Texas, EJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, and I wanted to be the cool kid that did that just to let chaos reign. I can't do that now. Give me Texas plus, and it's a Big 12, so give me the over.
Stole your thunder right there, huh?
It's like a low over for the Big 12, too.
Yeah,
49.5.
I think it's because Kansas State traditionally is kind of the anomaly. They're the Stanford of the Big 12 in terms of points.
They still put up 40 on UCF, but no, I'll say this. First of all, great Macho Man Savage.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I like that. Jim, if you had picked K-State, you still would have been cool because you would have taken on the extra risk of EJ jinxing you. Anyways, carry on.
That is true.
What
All
I
right. Now we go Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. It is number 12, Missouri. They are 7-1 at number 2, Georgia, who is 8-0, and a 15.5-point home favorite. That's bold. 54.5 is your over-under on that one. Matt, we'll start with you.
I'll take the over there since both of these offenses are pretty good at putting up points on the board, and Georgia's defense is not as scary as it has been in years past. But I don't think Mizzou gets blown out. So I will take Missouri plus the 15.5, but Georgia wins this game.
All right, EJ.
No, give me Georgia to cover this game. They've been playing well the last couple of weeks, and I'll take the under actually on this.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Kyle.
It's bold enough that I'm going to match it. For some reason, the number in my head to listen for was 17. I didn't get it. I think Georgia. I know. Hey, listen, I'm the actual cool kid, Mama Jamma. Anyways, no, but with that in mind, keep me with the under because this is the SEC. The football will be run, and it will be run copiously with a few big plays in the air and play action. That's where I'm at.
If this was a night game in Georgia, I think I probably would have given the Georgia the edge to cover the 15.5. But Saturday afternoon, let's get a little frisky with them Tigers. Give me Missouri to cover the 15.5. And I will take a over. The SEC being the conference of defense is a bit overrated in recent years. All right, speaking of conferences that don't play defense, we go Saturday, 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. It is number 5 Washington. They're 8-0. Only a 3.5-point road favorite. Also bold strategy, Cotton. At number 20 USC, who is 7-2. Yeah, that's fun to say. 76 is your over-under on this game, EJ.
Who they lose to? Those 2 losses.
One of them, Notre Dame kicked the ever-living bleep out of them.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's kind of cool. No, give me Washington this game. Washington minus 3.5. This is a low spread in my opinion. But I'll take Matt. Welcome back to the show. A slight under. Slight under Pac-12 under.
It's
Under.
12. If there's going to be an under,
76, right?
slight.
76, right?
Yeah.
78.
Slight under. I think combined 74 points.
Combined 75.
Yeah.
Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a pretty high number. But also I might have the world remind you that USC can't tackle, whereas Washington can occasionally play defense, which means they're monumental in the Pac/Big 12s. I'm gonna do it. Death taxes, the over in the 12s. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna take the over there. I have Washington winning this Mamma Jamma and getting my Michael Penix pick still alive.
Real quick, Kyle, is that a slight over though, or they're gonna crush that over? You think?
That's a trap, you son of a bitch.
You know me too well, buddy.
Matt, go.
It's slight. There you go. How about that?
Yeah,
Matt, go ahead.
I'm going to give them the crushing that over. I will take the 76.5. I mean, Washington did give up 33 points last week to the offensive juggernaut that is the Stanford Cardinal. And we do know how well USC plays defenses against anyone. 1AA schools. University of Shippensburg could play USC and probably put up 36.
Y'all being a little harsh on your Notre Dame team.
That is a disgusting act.
And I will take Washington -3. I will even bet an alternative spread of -7. I think Washington wins handily.
Oh, Washington's going to clobber the rotting corpse that is the USC Trojans, and it is going to be almost as glorious as 2 weekends ago in South Bend, but obviously not quite as. But you know what? To Kyle's point, I'm going to take a slight under because we've seen what Caleb Williams and company do when they face an actual defense. So, yeah, that could be a problem for the Trojans. Washington easily on that one. And lastly, we've alluded to it a couple of times, 7:45 Eastern time on CBS. Big game, Brian, and the LSU Tigers, ranked 14 in the country. They are 6-2. They travel to Tuscaloosa. Number 8, Alabama, 7-1. Only a 3-point home favorite. 60.5 is your over-under. Kyle, we'll start with you on this one.
Listen, these are two teams that may not be great, but this game's going to be competitive as hell. I'm going to stammer and stutter because I don't know what to make of either of these damn teams. The one thing they have done is something that people don't account for a lot, and that's gotten better throughout the year. I want to pick the Tigers, but they're in a different family of cat than Missouri. So
Family.
I'm gonna pick Alabama, but not because I'm confident in it. It's in Tuscaloosa. That's basically the difference for me. Whatever it is, give me the under. This is the SEC.
That's fair, Matt.
So we have the student versus the teacher here.
This does mean that if that's the case, Chief, you're gonna have to pick your boy or your former boy.
This is like putting the piece of bread, like butter side up on like a cat's back and like just dropping it to figure out which way the physics works.
As much as I would like to see Alabama lose this one, it's fortunate for Brian Kelly he's not going to suffer this in front of his family.
Family.
Give me Alabama. Give me -3. I'll take the under.
You just agreed with me. What are you teaching? What just happened?
I was talking about Brian Kelly and Tommy Rees.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, because I'm the student. See, it was very confusing.
It happens. EJ, go ahead.
Yeah. Give me Bama. They're playing better. I'll get Alabama to slightly cover. And also SEC under, of course.
Slightly cover, so they win by 4.
Yeah. 4 or 5. You know.
There you go. 4 or 5.
24-19, you know.
Yeah, look, I'm right here with Matt. This one's a tough one because we know what Big Game Brian can do. We also know what Tommy Rees can do when having to call a big game on offense. And you know, to prove to Kyle, because all season and even last year I've had to battle this reputation that Kyle thinks I hate on Brian Kelly for no reason.
Hold on. If you're going to do that, you need to cite that Observations podcast where I know Seward don't have as much beep as you put on his name.
By the way, that podcast has been slacking on lately. What's going on?
Look, shut up. Look, the point again, I was blatantly and intentionally obtuse on that one.
Obviously a showman. That was a joke.
There are, I mean, two things can be true at the same time. The sky can be blue, and 2 + 2 can also equal 4, Kyle. That's all I'm saying.
You can be a hater
Really?
and LSU could still lose. I get you.
But you know what? I wanted to pick chaos with the first game, but EJ ruined it. So I'm going to let chaos rule a bit here. And Big Game Brian finds a way. The Crimson Tide are out. Sorry, Tyler Buckner. Sorry, Tommy Rees.
No, you're not.
No, you're not really.
Thus helping Florida State. Thank you very much.
LSU gets the win in Tuscaloosa. And I will definitely take an under on this one. LSU's offense is good. I don't think Alabama's is going to be good enough, and that's going to be the difference.
So are you aware of the actual chaos you caused? You're like, oh, Tuscaloosa's gone. That's cute, Jim. But first of all, you've increased the ranking of LSU to where if somehow they pull off a miracle in the conference championship.
Oh, but they
won't. They won't. I know.
Look, man, Big Game Brian only shows his face once every couple of years. So if he gets the win on Saturday, he'll go back into hiding like a groundhog.
Hey, B, it's not like he hasn't beaten Alabama before. Oh, wait. And that also helps EJ Christian's Seminoles, which are also now making happen.
No, but when the Seminoles lose to the U, it won't matter.
Shut your ass.
I'm just saying.
That retort is everything I need. Let me catch up, Devin.
Was it the same as when he lost the Wake last week to Jim? Okay.
Devin also steps in. He has Texas and the under, and also has Georgia and the under as well for him.
EJ, to your point, last week my lock was that a top 10 team would lose to an unranked team, which they did.
Yes.
You had to go get a smart mouth.
You said
Florida
State will lose a Wake, and so did Matt.
I did. You had to go get a smart mouth and I had to take a direct shot. That was your fault.
No, you were just in, you were just in your feelings, Jim. Again, no big deal. I get it.
Hold on. EJ, shut up a minute. I got your back on this one. I have to throw myself on the grenade here. I'm the one that alluded to your somebody in the top 10 is going to lose is a fence-sitting take. That was my fault. And I take the blame. I am a nobler man than that here on my show.
So in a broad stroke, I was correct, but because I called EJ's stupid Seminoles out directly, I ended up being wrong. But we'll get him back.
Hey, we make stupid choices sometimes. It's okay.
We'll get him back.
Oh boy,
I know you became a Mets fan so many years ago.
Hey man, that was my birth. I gotta tell you.
Let me get this back on the rails. Jim, do we have a degenerate block for the NFL?
We do. We will start in obviously week number 9 in the National Football League. Coming up, bye weeks this week, starting in city out west.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
Broncos, Lions, 49ers, and Jaguars all have the week off this week. But for the picks, we will start very early, Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time from Frankfurt, Germany. It is the 6-2 Dolphins taking on the 6-2 Kansas City Chiefs, coming off of a loss to
the Denver Broncos.
It's a week,
all week.
Love it. Bring it
it's
in.
a week league, man. It doesn't make sense. But the Chiefs are a 2.5-point home favorite. 50.5 is your over/under on this one. EJ, I'll start with you.
Well, we me and my mimosas at 9:30 in the morning. Kyle, mimosa morning. Kyle.
Whatever.
By the way,
just prove you don't belong in the trenches. Let's
go ahead and say. I'm a risk. Yeah, come on now. Anyway, no, must win for the Dolphins here. Must win. Yes, must win.
Wait, I'm the host. I can control this. Okay, here we go. Jim, there you go. I'm not talking about must wins until he's just no. Anyways, no, I'm kidding. All right, go ahead, EJ. But if you say must win again, I will mute.
Thank you.
Oh,
that means no perception game for the Dolphins. They win a game that actually matters. Win a game that actually puts you into a tier 1. You lost against Buffalo. You lost against Philadelphia. Again, another opportunity now against the champs.
Well, you're tier 1. For those of us who think
they're not there yet. They're not there yet.
But you said if they win, the Dolphins are tier 1.
We can have a discussion next week. How it looks.
I don't see how it's a must win. Well, I guess technically, depending on what you pick on a game later, but they could still have a 1-game lead in their division if they lose this week.
I agree, but again, you're now 6-2.
Yes, I know, but you're using facts, and I don't do that.
But you're also
perception of what? We're talking about like why is it a must win?
Right now, you have 4 teams in the conference at 6-2. Okay.
Okay.
You're basically trying to get a bye week.
Yeah,
right now.
you got a cigar from me.
Okay. Number 1. Number 2, must win because perception. Want me taking seriously as a real contender?
Perception matter?
It matters to me. It matters to me. Give me Chiefs -1. Give me over.
Here's if it matters to
All
you.
of that just to say.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What are we doing here?
Go Fins, though. Go Fins.
You wonder why I was going to put them on you, idiot. Oh, Jesus Lord.
Matt, save us, please.
I hope Devin's still listening just because I want to disparage the Dolphins for a little bit here. No. Must-win game for both these teams. Must win.
It's a playoff game.
You don't mute him, though.
Because he's
It's
laughing
the
at
first time
you.
I've ever said it.
Right, because he's being facetious about it.
Facetious, not facetious.
Look, man.
No, she said.
Give me the Chiefs on the road at home. Give me the over.
All right, Kyle.
I gotta love, by the way, Devin had Georgia and the under, like most of us did. And I gotta love, listen, as much as I get on Devin's case for loving the Dolphins a little too much on our show here, I love the line he puts in the sand. Call me a goddamn homer. I'm going with the Dolphins on a hope and a prayer. Well,
Homer.
Right, Devin.
Unfortunately, you also need a defense, which you did not list. You're screwed. Anyways, no, listen, I'm 2.5 is all really. Y'all are that worried about Patrick LeVon Mahomes II not being recovered from the flu, huh? Okay, cool story. I do get the Tyreek Hill revenge factor. I think that's going to matter. I think that is going to make this game a sure over and not slight. Sure, there's a difference, Mama Jamma, or mother father, as we say on Sertoba Media. But yeah, listen, I am not brave enough to pick against the Chiefs. I know that there's no way to fly swiftly into Germany, so she probably won't be there. But
I was going to say, do we know she's going to be there?
I'm betting against it.
If it was in London, I'd say she's probably find a way to be there.
If there's a prop bet for whether Taylor will be in Germany, put me on that as a no, okay? But yeah, I got the chefs nonetheless. I also have the over, a not slight over, and yeah, that's where I sit. Hold on, I got to get it real quick. Speaking of saying mother, father, no sooner does he arrive, Drew Willingham, Stova Media. You got to love that timing. Anyways, go ahead, Jim.
That's beauty. Yeah, look, the Chiefs, it was a just grouping of factors, I think, that led to that loss. I think the Broncos were tired of being told how bad they were. Mahomes was sick. Taylor Swift wasn't there. Look, no disrespect, Evan. Well, maybe partially disrespect. Give me the Chiefs plus, and definitely taking the over. This one on the NFL Network. I think I missed that.
You're a mean man, Jim.
On the top of that one, but Chiefs aren't going to lose 2 weeks in a row. All right, let's go to 1:00 Eastern time on CBS. It is the 5-2 Seahawks at the 6-2 Ravens, who are 5.5 point home favorite. 43 is your over under on this one. Matt, we'll start with you.
Man, this one's a little tougher just because I like the way that the Seahawks have been playing more recently. Aside from the loss to Cincinnati, been handling some business against teams that they should handle. So that being said, I think the Ravens are kind of firing on all cylinders at this point. So I'll take the Ravens minus the 6. I'll take the under, though. I think the defenses show out a little bit this week.
All right, Kyle.
Yeah, I got the Ravens too here. Matt's spot the hell on here. I'm basically going to match him with my pick. Listen, it's not that I don't have faith in the Seahawks. I think they're going to compete for the division, just like I had in my preview on the Student of the Game podcast back in August. 11 wins and 10 wins, I believe I had for the teams respectively there with the Niners and the Seahawks. But the Ravens, they played solid ball. I can't front on any above. We'll leave it at that.
All right, EJ.
I do like the Ravens win this game. However, give me Seattle plus 6 here. Close game here, and give me the under.
Wait, they're getting 6 points?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, then yeah, okay. Give me Seattle on the spread then. My bad.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the same thing. If we're being honest about it, Seattle's playing good. Baltimore just the same. I think this is going to be a really good battle. If I would have looked at this game mid-season or preseason, I don't think I would have thought it would have turned out and to be as well and quite frankly as big of a game as it's going to be. I think the Ravens do win at home, and I will take the under in this one.
Yeah, Trent Williams getting injured is making this game relevant, sir.
For sure. So let's go to this one. I mean, I think we're pretty confident in saying that I will pick the Cowboys. Matt will pick the Eagles. Real quick. So the Eagles are 7-1 Eagles host the 5-2 Cowboys. Eagles are a 3-point home favorite. 46 is the over under. For statistics sake and how we're tracking the season, I will take the Cowboys. I will take the over. Matt, I assume you're the Eagles. What's your take on the over under on that one?
I'll take the Eagles and the over.
All right. EJ and Kyle, let's do them quick because I want to do something a little bit different with this game. So Kyle, I'll go to you for the spread on this one.
I got the Eagles because they play defense consistently. And what's the number for the over under? I missed that.
46.
Give me the over. Screw it.
All right, EJ.
Over.
EJ.
I something smells with this game. I like Dallas this week. I do.
Kiss of
Give me Dallas. Dak, first game full strength in 2 years. Okay.
Is this the Fredo game? Is that
has Dak only lost once against the Eagles as a starter?
Shut up. Shut up.
It also involves Sam Bradford as a starter.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, just saying. Something smells. Look, must win. Cowboys win.
Stop. Well,
any over.
My God.
They need this game.
Here's a tie break. Drew Willingham steps in. He likes to take on the Eagles defense, and Devin also digs the Eagles. So yeah.
There you go. So whatever. Let's do it this way. And we'll go Kyle, Matt, EJ, and myself. blank, meaning the team that you're predicting to win will win if what? Because I mean, obviously there was no surprise in who Matt and I were taking. So to take a little different spin on a game with a couple of favorite teams, Kyle. So you pick the Eagles. Eagles will win if what?
Dak Prescott continues to turn the damn ball over.
All right, there you go. Matt, the Eagles will win if what?
The defensive line gets pressure on Dak.
That's fair. EJ, the Cowboys will win if what?
Dak Prescott plays a clean game.
Which he will not. You are in trouble.
Since I picked the Cowboys, I will go Cowboys will win if the front seven can get at Jalen Hurts and company.
More bad news.
We'll see.
I said
right.
Actually, that will happen some. I shouldn't dismiss it.
All right, and then lastly, and this is what I was referring to with the whole Dolphins alleged must-win
Allegedly.
bull crap. The 5-3 Bills travel to the 4-3, and suddenly top-tier Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 2.5-point home favorite. 48.5 is your over/under on this one. Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. EJ, I'm going to start with you on this one.
This is easy. Bengals in a blowout. Bengals in a blowout and give me the under.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I want to go back to that first game because if the Dolphins lose and the Bills lose, the Dolphins will still be a game up on those Bills in the AFC East. So please,
but what you missed though, as I said, the Dolphins are trying to refer themselves as a Super Bowl contender. Okay, they're winning the East. They're winning the East. I'm at Buffalo's point now.
Oh, so wait.
Number one seed.
So the Dolphins must-win games become must-win in January when they're actually must-win.
That would be 126.55.
So they have to win because they want to be a Super Bowl contender. So if they beat the Chiefs, that makes them so. Otherwise, they aren't.
It changed the perception, man. You beat the
Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos just beat the Chiefs.
But Kansas City has, but as we've seen in the last couple of years, KC has these games every. They have the one game every year they shouldn't lose.
Last year, we know.
That was the Colts. The Colts. Okay. The Colts, who won 3 games last year? 4?
They struggle with the Texans. Blah, blah.
Okay, it happens. Okay, Miami is trying to get themselves into that conversation of being with the Phillies and the Bengals and the Chiefs. You don't do that without winning this game. I'm sorry, and you're in a race at 14 tier now at top of the AFC right now.
The only defense that EJ actually has that's viable that he refuses to use is if this team can demonstrate they can play defense against somebody with a high-powered quarterback like Patrick LeVon Mahomes II, that will increase their confidence. It's not a must-win, jackass.
And that, my friends, is what we call analysis. Matt, Bills, Bengals, go ahead.
I'm actually going to go with the crowd here. I'm on the ESPN page, and 67% are going Bills. I'm leaning that way as well.
Really?
Give me the Bills. I'll take the under.
Wow. Okay, Kyle, go ahead.
If the Bills had their full defense, I would agree with the crowd as well. I am unable to do that. You are missing significant portions of your secondary against Joseph Burr. That's a problem. Listen, I enjoy the fact that you have the best and probably the most underrated defensive tackle core in the league. I've said it repeatedly and often. And heck, if I wrote for the Bills like I do the Jaguars for the Jaguar Report of SI, bing, I would still be talking about that defensive tackle unit. There's no question. That being said, I feel like Trey Hendrickson will get back there, freak Josh Allen out. He will make mistakes. Joseph Burr will capitalize. And if he remains healthy throughout the game, which I have no reason to disbelieve, the Bengals will maintain, and I will take them regardless of the spread. And give me the over because there will be fireworks.
Matt, this game is in Cincinnati, right?
It is.
What am I missing then?
I think people...
The Buffalo Bills are a roller coaster.
I mean, apparently people aren't ready to buy in on the Bengals as a
team.
Team.
Your own peril. Good luck with that. Bengals in a blowout.
Listen. All you need to do, EJ, is keep your weapons rack ready and unleash your morning stars next week because you tried to tell them, but they wouldn't listen.
6%. Wow.
I mean, you're crowning the Bengals after they beat an injury-riddled San Francisco team. Prior to that,
unfortunately, Trent Williams for the record, but
they squeaked by the Seahawks They beat the Cardinals. Congrats. Most good teams do. Sorry, Jim. And then they lost
I can't even fight that one.
handily to the Titans, squeaked by the Rams. So, you having them on tier 1 is fine, but most people aren't ready to quite yet do that, especially with the injury concerns that have plagued Joe Burr for the year.
Injury riddled, yes, on the offensive side of the ball. They tortured the Sanford defense on Sunday afternoon. And that's where I was impressed with.
And let me back Matt on this. Some of us knew there would be a defensive drop-off once DeMeco Ryans went off to get his head coaching gig. So
if your offense isn't doing anything, your defense is going to get tired pretty quick. Yeah. That's how defenses get torched.
I've been watching it all year.
That game was close until the fourth quarter, so I don't know.
So then they didn't get torched.
I mean, the defense got torched. The defense got torched.
The part
Burrow was efficient as hell.
The thing that EJ should be arguing, refuses to now, even though he has on his own podcast, is the past 2 years, heck, 3 years, one could argue, is the Bengals under Joseph Burr have started slow. And at the end of the game or end of the season, it just doesn't matter. Some of us even had them in the power rankings before the other two when Joseph Burr had his first healthy season, and Jim made his biggest blunder of all time in EJ's eyes, picking the Bears. But nonetheless,
one flaw in three plus years.
Hey, at least you didn't need 3 overtimes to beat Pitt. But the punchline's
oh my.
But the punchline's this. I think the reason why EJ is so confident in this game and already having the Bengals in tier run is he's writing the stats. I'm with you though, Matt. Show it to me. I think they will show it to us when they beat the Bills this weekend, and then I'll start calling them tier 1.
All right, so you have the Bengals winning. Do you have over or under 48.5, Kyle?
Oh, 48.5. Give me over. I think we'll have more fireworks than that.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well. I think the Bengals do win this game. I'm not ready to put them in tier 1. I may even be hesitant to put them in it after this game because let's keep in mind I've had the same.
You've been consistent.
I've had the same issue with the Bills for multiple seasons. They don't put games away. Since beating a Dolphins team that we're not 100% sure is as good as they pretended to be when they put up 70 points on the lowly Broncos. The Bills,
the Denver Broncos.
The Bills have lost to the Jaguars. They've barely beaten the pathetic New York Giants. They lost to the Patriots, and they struggled to put away the Fighting Baker Mayfields. The Bills, everybody wants them to be great. They are good. How good, we don't know. So, yeah, I think Bengals win at home Sunday night, and they are starting to make that upward turn. Again, we all have them winning the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl or whatever in the Huddle Up preseason picks. Bing. But yeah, I'm not ready to sign off on tier 1 quite yet, even with a win on Sunday.
To be fair, I also said last week during the bye week that they were on a holding pattern for tier 1, so it should be a surprise.
You're still premature, but yeah, you're consistently premature, and that's all.
Regards to your wife.
Whoa!
Way out of line. Way out of line.
Wow.
What did Lauren do to you?
Is that the end of the gym?
Jesus.
Well, apparently, never mind. I'm going to keep this as PG as possible because we are in Kyle's house. I'm going to respect the house.
Yeah, I feel like Papa Midnight in Constantine. Not here. Yeah. Anyway, no one's going to get that reference, but it's a good. Hey, it's got Keanu Reeves in it. Watch the damn thing. Anyways,
I understood that.
Is that the last of the degenerate block, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's the last of my big 4.
Okay, so be it. We'll move on. Gentlemen, there's going to be some very interesting things I need examined by this group because, well, y'all are that sharp, and the national media is ticking me off on a lot of things. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more lightning as we do the rest of the picks, student of the game style. Who needs spreads? Let's just walk through them real quick. Leading off, the Minnesota Vikings head to Atlanta to battle the Fraudcom. CEO Jim, who you got?
This game stinks. 2 new starting quarterbacks this week, but I'll give the experienced one the edge. So give me the fighting Tyler Heineke's in Atlanta.
EJ.
Heineken. Let's go.
Matt.
Atlanta at home.
Interesting. Just like the Kelly Green, my can of beer is going to be green. Crack open the Heineken. I have the fraud cons. Leading us next up to the Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns. This is all very interesting because people were trying to move Dobbs and didn't. I don't know, whatever. Matt, who you got?
I mean, if Watson plays, give me Arizona. If he doesn't, give me the Browns.
That's actually a very strong take. EJ.
Yeah, Watson plays against the Browns. He doesn't play against the Browns. Browns.
Jim.
Yeah, we got a rookie in Arizona. Give me the Browns either way.
I got the Browns too. Most underappreciated defense in the league, in my opinion. The Los Angeles Rams head over to the frozen tundra of Lambeau to battle Jordan Love and his Green Bay Packers. EJ, who you got?
Give me the Packers because Stafford may not. Well, that rhymed. That might not even be available for this game. So give me the Packers.
Packers and Stafford.
It's got the right meter. Let him have it. You know,
it's in range.
It works. I don't know. Matt, who you got?
Must win for the Rams.
It really is, though. Be honest, to be fair.
Shut up. Shut up.
I don't think, but whatever.
It's 3-5, dude. It's 3-5.
It's a must win for anybody. It's for the damn Packers. Okay. A, B. No, it's not a must win. Jim.
Yeah, I don't care if you pick a guy out of the third row. This Packers team stinks. Give me the Rams.
I too am going to go with the Rams, but hey, maybe Jordan Love will take advantage. You never know. The Washington Commanders do battle, wishing they still had Taylor Heineke against Bill Belichick in Foxborough and the Patriots. Let me go to the Patriot fan. EJ, lead us off.
Yeah, let me get Hoodie and the boys. Hoodie and the boys this week.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Jim.
Hoodie and the boys. Never mind. Give me Washington. The Patriots still stink. Give me Washington. They'll find a way.
Matt.
Yeah, give me Washington, the team that has a quarterback that the rest of the team seem to like and trust, which doesn't seem to be the case in New England.
Wow. So must win for Washington. Never mind.
Hey, listen, I know that you might be traumatized into picking the Red Tails. Sorry, Commanders, they're Eagles fan. But no, I still think you're right. Eric Bieniemy finds a way with Sam. How well can he do against Bill Belichick? I think he'll do fine. The Bears and the Saints. We all got the Saints, right? Can we skip this one?
Gosh, yes.
Number one seed Saints. If you say no and you were touting the Saints as the number one seed in the NFC before the season
what's about this game here, guys?
I'm quitting the show.
The Bears, no, come on, the Saints,
in the name of saving him
the
from
Saints,
himself.
The Saints win. The Saints cover.
Heads to Houston to battle the Texans. Matt, who you got?
I think Houston bounces back. I liked what they were doing earlier in the year. I was surprised they lost to the Panthers, but I guess
so were they.
Teams eventually have to win one game. Sorry, Lions. So give me the Texans.
What is that stray? That doesn't make any sense. That's an EJ take, Matt. What are we doing here? Anyways, Jim.
Yeah, I had some hope for the Fighting Mayfields, but the Succaneers they are again. Give me Houston.
Hey, they're in the NFC and there's 7 playoff spots. Kevin Garnett defense applies. Anything is possible. EJ.
I was so let down by last week's loss to Carolina, man. Seriously, man. But they'll bounce back here. Give me Houston.
Yeah, I have no reason to stray from my 7-win prediction for CJ Stroud and company. I have the Texans.
No, man. And quick sidebar. Tampa's done unless they're making an urgent phone call to Tommy. They're not making the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure Tommy still plays.
Careful, EJ. Don't get all excited. I've heard he might look at playing in that the Olympic flag football though. So EJ, you might have a chance to see your sweetie pie play.
You see my screen moving up.
Let's see. I'm not subjecting America to the Colts and the Panthers. That would just be rough. Even with Gardner Minshew, I'm pretty sure I have the Colts in Carolina. That's fine. Here's a real toilet bowl for you. We'll start with our favorite Cowboy, EJ Christian, to pick the Giants heading over to Vegas to battle the Raiders.
Oh, my God.
Next person. I don't give a fuck about this game.
Oh, no.
Give me the Raiders.
Well, this will be interesting informing the captain. Former show 2 weeks in a row because EJ can't watch his damn mouth. Matt.
I will take the Giants. I said they'd get their 3rd win in November when we did the preseason show, and this was the 3rd win they were going to get. So why break tradition here? They'll get one more. EJ will get excited. Danny Dimes returns, gets an extension on top of the extension.
I hate you so much, Matthew.
And listen, breathing life into that back-to-back Coach of the Year for Daybowl campaign. I can see it, Jim.
Look, nothing is going to help a team bounce back by having a rookie quarterback, new head coach, new GM, new offensive coordinator, then playing the New York Giants. Give me the Raiders.
You do see the coaches though for the Raiders though, right?
Yeah, it's going to be one of your own going to beat the crap out of you and embarrass you even
Antonio
more.
Pierce.
Listen, I mean, how can you be that much worse than Josh McDaniels? I don't think so. Nonetheless, just to give EJ some alleged credit because he claims to be a Giants fan, I'll throw him a bone and say
Allegedly.
the Giants. Final one from Monday night. The Los Angeles Chargers, with EJ's favorite coach, head to East Rutherford to battle the Jets. Jim, lead us off.
Let's keep that playoff train rolling, baby. Let's go, Jets.
I need a clip of that. EJ, who you got?
This is a frisky game of the weekend, though.
You're not.
Jets are 4-3. Jets are 4-3. Chargers,
baby.
Chargers need this game to stay in the wild card race.
This
is a must win. This is actually a must win. You have to admit,
This
is a must
actually
win.
might be. This
No, for real.
actually might be.
Yeah, they're not winning.
Real quick, I'm going to put a health advisory. Do not do a drinking game on how many times EJ used the term must win. You will be dead.
No, right. No, true. But seriously, they're not winning the division. So there's no path there, obviously. You got to get into the wild card. And 3-4, yeah, you got to get in this game. You got to get it or it's over. And Staley's fired probably at the end of the year. So, but that being said, give me Jets. Screw it.
Matt, who you got?
I like LA coming off the big win against the frisky Bears to take down the Jets.
Matt, I admire your confidence, but you're going to be the cool kid on your own here. I, too, have the Jets. I just don't have that much confidence in Staley. I'll grant Kellen Moore, who this time last year, Big Jim wanted fired into the sun, has scored more points for the Chargers than they had last year. Nonetheless, the defensive head coach has this defense scratching their head, and Zach Wilson, while not good and worthy of his pick, has played serviceable ball to keep him in the game. I'm going to go with the Jets here. I mean, definitely if we were going degenerate style, they'd be getting points, and I would definitely feel better about it. But yeah, I just think the Chargers are in their heads. I think they're spiraling. I think the Chargers are going to charge her. And much to the chagrin of my good friend Booga Peters, they might even get knocked out of the playoff race potentially here. That would be sad for them.
Yeah, must win. Yeah.
So, anyways, gentlemen, that'll do it for the picks. We went through our degenerate block first here. I hope you guys like that we managed to ingrain that. Well done, Jim. Thank you for your coordination on that. But as my good friend does at the end of Huddle Up, I'm not going to deprive you of that. All of you need to give me one thing that you think is going to happen this week so we can lock it up.
Are we doing EJ's rankings?
I don't have any graphics, so
hold on. Let me see if I can get. I have them ready. Let's see. If
you want to keep music in the meantime.
Let's hold on. Let's see if I can get the rankings up first.
I didn't know you did them, EJ. That's my mistake, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wait. Oh, I see an ad. Oh my God. Okay, I didn't look at the spot. Yeah, I can crazy. What just happened? I think I hurt myself. Okay. So here we are. The segment that got merged before I did by being bad at its job. Tool time is upon us. EJ Christian.
But I've been good this year, Kyle.
You have been actually relatively strong, no question. Your bottom five, please, sir.
Bottom five. Here we go. 28, the Patriots. 29, the Cardinals. 30, the Bears. 31, the Panthers. 32, the Bulldogs. 33, the Giants.
Now, if I may quickly, before I open fire and draw and quarter you did this before you heard the news about one Josh McDaniels getting fired, I assume.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Still asimine they're not on the bottom.
No, but to be fair to the Raiders, too, they've played, like, even on Monday night, that was a closer game than that's indicated.
What are we doing?
No, it really was.
What are we doing?
That defense played they're better than all five of these teams, then.
Anyways, okay.
But that being said, come on now.
They're not worse than the Patriots. You're still bad at your job. You're still getting that wrong just like you did last week. Anybody else with the bottom five, please?
Raiders should probably be in there.
Giants are too high.
Yeah. As I said, 32 Bulldogs, Georgia Bulldogs, 33 Giants. As I said.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes.
EJ. I missed it the
I
first go
didn't
round.
get the joke. But
That's
good
the joke.
Technically, you go 32 Bulldogs, 33 Michigan Wolverines, 34 Giants.
yeah, I mean, I guess you can pull the Broncos out of there. I still think they stink. I don't think the Chiefs losing was as much the Broncos won as it was the Chiefs losing, but
He's rewarding them for the week. I can see that.
That's fair. They'll find their way back in here soon enough.
The Giants
Matt, anything to add on the bottom five?
No, I actually agree with that. I would probably have the Panthers below the Giants.
Really?
All jokes aside. The Panthers have been
Even though they beat the Texans this week, they don't get the 1 week reward, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
It's not gonna be good. Okay, and now
And the Giants had -9 passing yards, correct? So yeah, that's fine. Keep it down there.
he's with it.
$40 million.
All right, top 10. Here we go. Top 10?
Fire away, Pon.
All right, top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Seahawks. Number 9, the Cowboys. 8, the Niners. 7, Bengals. 6, Lions. 5, Dolphins. 4, Jaguars. 3, Ravens. 2, Chiefs. And we got a new number 1 this week. We have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, EJ Christian, what was the big problem you had last week?
Jaguars too low.
No.
Dolphins too high.
Dolphins too, and they're still too high. Oh God, what are you doing?
Can I just say, when he sent me these earlier, I had to read them like 3 times to understand 49ers at 8.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has like committed part of his life to overranking the 49ers, and now I think he has them too low. So
not to mention, you've spent the entire show talking about the Niners and the Bengals in tier 1, and they're 7 and 8.
The only here's the issue though. The Niners are tier 1 as long as Trent Williams returns to this team before the playoffs.
Oh, he finally listened.
If Trent Williams is not available by January, this team is screwed.
By the way, EJ Christian, how many weeks ago did I say that would be an issue?
You mean years?
I said weeks ago.
Okay, weeks. Okay, cool. Couple weeks now.
No, that would be 3. That would be a few weeks. Jackass.
Yeah,
Okay.
close enough.
On your show, I might add.
You did say that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No. I'm technically penalizing the Niners in the now at 8, but if you ask me, are they a Super Bowl contender still? That doesn't change.
Well, and let me go this way, because they have an upcoming bye, just like the Jags do, right? If going like after next week, going into playing the Jaguars,
yes.
If Trent Williams is listed as practicing and returned to health, do they go up the list?
Do they win the game? Obviously,
they have a bye week.
No. Well, say they
Williams gets healthy. Are they higher next week because of it?
Well, since he loses to Buffalo, then that's going to definitely help their case. You know, so there's a lot of things happening here this week.
Stop sitting on the fence.
It's very possible. Yes, it's very possible it can happen. Yes, absolutely very possible.
Sitting answer, but at least you committed to something. Anyways,
committed-ish.
No one else has a problem with the Dolphins at 5.
I have the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins at 8. Okay. So the Dolphins at 5 is too high for sure.
Jags are the Jags where it should be 4.
I think that's a bit too high, but I know why you're rewarding them, because since I write for the Jaguar Report of Sports Illustrated, bing, as well as the 3-point conversion, and I focus on the Jaguars. They are having the second highest franchise start in wins ever. Like franchise start, like that's a thing. Like this is franchise history they're making. Mark Brunell was the only other quarterback to do this or more in wins or losses for this team, right? So I get that you're seeing and rewarding that. I wouldn't be prepared to put them at 4 until they come back from the bye and beat the San Francisco 49ers in question, which, by the way, if they lose that game and the Niners are 10, I get it. But yeah, your refusal to respect the Lions just makes me want to throw things.
Yeah, I think your top 3 is spot on right now.
In any order, I don't care. But the Eagles,
I mean, again, I taking the Chiefs out of the 1 spot after losing to the Broncos, absolutely.
I'd put them at 3 for punishment, personally.
I wouldn't have a problem with the way the Ravens have played the last couple weeks. I would have no problem with them at 2. I have the Lions at my 4. I think that kind of 1 week forget to get on and off the plane in Baltimore situation aside, this team is playing really good football. I have the Niners at 5, Jags at 6. I think you could probably interchange those. And again, the Niners are where they are because of injuries, particularly to Trent Williams. Kyle, thank you. I mean, I might as well hit the button.
Homer.
I have the Cowboys at my 7, above the Dolphins. I look at those two. If they played today, I think I'm going to give the edge to the Cowboys. It's going to be a shootout, whatever the over-under is. Bet the freaking over on that one for sure. If those two teams would play, and I have Seahawks 9 and Bengals 10. Again, I'm not quite as high on the Bengals as you are yet. They will get there, but yeah, Dolphins too high, Jaguars a little too high, Niners I think a little too low, which you would have given me a bet before the season if I would have had to pick those words for calling your top 10. I wouldn't have predicted that.
Matt, you're good with the Eagles at 1, obviously. Anything else you see?
I've probably flipped the Ravens and Chiefs. I definitely have the Lions above the Jags and Dolphins. If you have the Bengals at tier 1, they should also be above the Dolphins. I understand why you don't have them there, but I wouldn't be opposed if you did. I probably have Jim's Cowboys and your Cowboys, sorry, EJ, a little higher than you do as well. Just coming into this week, I think that'll tell us where the teams lie.
I can't commit to the Cowboys being too much higher. Maybe they should be
a little higher, 8 or 7, sure.
Okay, I can't put them at 7, but now we're nitpicking. So I don't dislike 9. I would put them at 8. That's about it.
The beauty of this list, though, it's fluid. So.
Will you stop that? You're just wrong. That doesn't help you. Okay. Yeah. You have
stand there and you're wrong. Listen, be wrong and get used to it.
Well done, Jim. You haven't even whispered the word tier 1 surrounding the Dolphins in their 5. That doesn't make a lick of damn sense at all.
We what I said yesterday, I had 5 teams at tier 1. 5 teams at tier 1.
Right, and none of them were the Dolphins. So
correct.
You had what? Eagles, Chiefs, Niners, Ravens, Bengals.
There you go.
2 of those.
You win a toaster.
And 2 of those are in the bottom 4 of the top 10.
Yeah.
As we've touched on, Jim.
The freeze frame of this week, but
I'm so glad I told you to get that. What a great bite.
More of a freeze frame of this week, though. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
That being said, I think you're spot on with the Bengals. They're climbing their way into tier 1 relevance. You call them tier 1, even though they're in the bottom 4 or whatever, and that's cool. But that matches what I've portrayed. They're climbing into tier 1 relevance. The Ravens being at 3, I feel like they're kind of doing that same climbing into tier 1 relevance. They're taking advantage of the 49ers being down. Your disrespect for the Lions is really, I think, the biggest crime this week outside of your just insane devotion to filleting the Dolphins. I just don't get it. Did you see one too many Oscar nominated movies about having relations with aquatic life or what? I don't.
No, Agent or Pet Detective.
Oh yes, of course. Dan Marino. Yes.
I mean, right. Are you just homering it because of where you live?
Homer.
Is that?
No, not really. But
Homer.
Well,
your opportunity.
The Giants are dead. He's got to overrate someone.
Right. I'll say this much: if they lose this week to the Chiefs, they're gonna get knocked down a ton.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why? Why?
If they lose to the number 2 team on their list,
they're gonna get knocked down a ton.
Because that's 3 games now against teams over 500 that they've lost to.
What if the game's close, EJ Christian?
We'll assess that. One. We'll see what the Bengals do.
You said if they lose, they're going to drop down a ton. Okay, so the spread's 2.5. What if they lose 31-30?
Then we'll assess that based on the Bengals and the Cowboys situation this week.
God,
probably.
So hold on. You picked the Bengals to win, right?
You
picked the Cowboys to beat the Eagles. All right. Correct. So let's say those 2 things play out. The Bengals beat the Bills. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Dolphins lose by 1 to the Chiefs.
Dolphins will go to 9 at least. The Bengals will move up. Cowboys
the
move
way,
up.
Jim, that was a really good.
Niners went up by default because we'll hear Trent Williams news this week, and then there we go. Boom.
You've already done enough damage to yourself.
9. There we go.
By the way, Jim, that was a great line of questioning. Maybe you should host a podcast sometime.
Anyway, I'll think about it.
With that in mind, very entertaining segment, not necessarily for its correctness, but nonetheless, here we are. EJ Christian, by the way, you have crowned your new worst bracket so far on the season. I hope you're happy.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was not your best work, my good friend. Thank Jim, by the way, for completely crushing it at the end to kind of put me over the edge to have to say that. Anyways, I don't really have any, departure music like Jim does because he's smooth.
Well, we got to do our locks, right?
You better lock it up.
Shit.
You lock it up.
It's time to lock it up, Humpy Pumpies. Let's do the thing. Usual host and CEO of Huddle podcast, Big Jim Nies. Lead it off.
I said they were going to cover on Saturday afternoon. But you know what?
I need some music here.
Missouri does the job. Let chaos ensue. Missouri beats the dog.
Lock it up.
Do you know what you just did?
Oh, I done did it.
Okay. I guess after all that work of tearing down EJ's bracket, you felt guilty. Matt, your lock of the week, sir.
Yeah, I'm going in the opposite direction. I was going to say after this weekend, we will have a new number 1 in the college football playoff rankings.
Ooh, I like that one. Okay. EJ Christian, your lock.
My lock, we're going to have multiple upsets in the top 10 this week. Multiple, not one, multiple. I'm eyeballing, obviously, Texas, as I said earlier in the show.
Okay.
I'm also eyeballing Oklahoma State, Oklahoma.
Who does Florida State lose to this week?
Don't overlook that Pitt Florida State game.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Dude, if they lose, I'm not coming on the show next week.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Nope. By the way, another reason I did Missouri over Georgia is because I'm tired of these false accusations that I don't make any bold claims on any of these podcasts.
Well, you've been better this year. I'm proud of you.
Just saying.
You still fence sitting, but that's what you normally do.
Jim, come on.
Yeah. No, but I think Oklahoma State will be Oklahoma this weekend.
I guess that's an upset.
Well, number 9 in the country.
It is, because Oklahoma State is awful.
Oklahoma State is not good this year. With no disrespect to my good friend Jordan Johnson, former UCF center, who's on their coaching staff. But
come after me.
No, that's not Jordan Johnson. Anyways, shouts to JJ if he happens to be listening. My lock. I am going to make my lock, as I've said earlier, to kind of double down on one of my earlier picks. I have Joey Bern as my lock of the week to pay tribute to Mikey Bern, who could not appear tonight because he was working. And he wasn't in the comments and all that happy stuff. So yeah, with that in mind, that's where I leave it. A quick comment in hope from Devin, who says that hopefully the Dolphins can find their defense in Germany. And that's his lock of the week.
That's not a lock, Devin. You said hopefully they can do something.
I believe he's trying to, albeit illiterately, to your point, Matt, lock up his Dolphins.
I'm just kidding. Devin,
it's like trying to do the combination lock, but you forget the third number. You just start yanking on the goddamn thing. Just
here, I was just hoping for a homer.
That's funny.
No, I was just hoping for a homer. No,
Homer.
Yeah. We
Homer Marge.
Nice. Listen, so with all that in mind, in honor, joy, and privilege, gentlemen, tell the people where you can be found, starting with the AJ Hawk of the Huddle Up podcast, Matt Muehleisen.
Yeah, you can hear me some Tuesdays on a Huddle Up podcast, probably more frequently now, especially as I get to watch EJ be distraught about the
season's over
in the background.
Shut up.
You can hear me on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the 3CT podcast, talking all things wrestling, pop culture, and food, usually on Tuesdays. And you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram. Is Threads still a thing?
It is.
Still there.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's at Teaching to the Choir across all platforms.
Slight thing.
And once or twice a year on the Earnestly Speaking podcast. He hasn't invited me on in a while, but
It's coming soon.
Well, I mean, the Sixers season soon over, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah. Once I gotta see losing streaks. I guess I can jump in there and talk shit. But
right. And twice a year on the pitch, where I talk about.
Speaking of once or twice a year, check out the pitch also on the Family of Podcast.
Is that coming back? Is that coming back some point?
Sure.
I would ask you to try to be as reliable as EJ cursing and ruining the show, but that's
nothing is that reliable.
No.
Anyway,
the atomic clock isn't that reliable.
Wow. Speaking of atomic explosions, EJ Christian, tell the people.
You can follow me on Twitter at EJ Christian7, Urban Speaker Podcast. Next week on the Stinging Report on the podcast, we do what midterm.
Yes, it is
time.
Can't
wait for that.
Can't
wait for that one.
Listen, that's fun every year. Listen, joke aside, I have fun with that, and it does tend to run longer. EJ is usually wise enough to split it to 2 episodes, but I can
no, it's going to be a long one. We'll keep it to 1.
That's what she said. With that in mind,
she said.
Hopefully my performance can maintain nonetheless.
Yeah.
And of course, the CEO himself of Huddle Podcast, Big Jim, tell the world.
Yeah, you can get me at Big Jim Sports. Hit the link tree in mine. That'll get you to Huddle Up Podcast, 3 Count Thursday, 3CT, and the discussion with the Nobody, which I've also been slacking on. I'm going to hopefully get something on there. Shut up. Here in a little bit. Now 3CT and Huddle Up both are on Twitch because you can't live comment from Twitter anymore. So screw Elon Musk. So you can get us live shows, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube there. Subscribe to the YouTube. Let's get our numbers up on that. At Huddle Up Podcast at 3 Count Thursday. All of it can be linked directly from at Big Jim Sports.
Very eloquently put. Yeah, this show as well is up on Twitch, and every now and again, I get listen as a dude in his 40s, getting comments from Twitch just gets my attention. I'm like, hey, that's an anomaly.
Hey, that's a thing.
Yeah, so there you go. Listen, an honor, joy, and privilege to all 3 of you guys, the jabronis, as I affectionately know you, of the Huddle Up Podcast panel. A good time all the way around. Thanks, of course, to Devin and Drew Willingham for jumping into the chat and weighing in as well. An honor, joy, and privilege to have you guys aboard as well. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram and Threads because it's slightly a thing as well, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my ratings with the Jaguar Report of Sports Illustrated, as well as the 3-point conversion and my work with A7BN Sports covering the Orlando Magic as well. Look for all that stuff going on there. I'm going to be out with the Lakers and stuff on Saturday. Hopefully they can pull a win because they did not against the Clippers recently. That's okay. Of course, check out my work with the Black and Gold Banneret as UCF does battle this weekend with Cincinnati, hoping to get their first Big 12 win as well. Don't worry, I know the Magic game's on Saturday as well. I plan on writing the UCF game. Maybe I'll be able to speak into Night Shift after the game as well. Of course, you're here on the Student of the Game podcast. The Duval Dive will drop Friday morning. I believe we're recording that tomorrow with Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country. We're also going to simulcast that on the Pro Sports Fans app. Look for that on the Jaguars chat. Big Jim's been checking there. I saw you follow the Lions chat. That was interesting, Big Jim.
My Lions, man. My Lions. Let's go.
Okay.
Frisky.
They wear silver and
They're
blue.
not frisky anymore, EJ. Get it right.
That's right. Risky. Sorry.
You're just both. I don't stop trying to make you fetch a thing.
That was his thing. He did that, not me.
That doesn't change the answer. Anyways, of course, and as I mentioned, the Black and Gold Banneret, I mentioned the Duval Dive. Also, look out for the rebroadcast of the Duval Dive on the 3-point conversion iHeartRadio channel. Boom. How about that? With all that in mind, an honor, joy, and privilege. But until next time, my friends. Oh, I almost forgot. Thursday night, that would be tomorrow night. I know, try to hide your ears. I'm bringing in Drew Willingham of Sertoba Media to talk baseball and other things. But I'm bringing in him on so he can talk baseball. I know, and I don't have to. That's the goal. See, I'm outsourcing Jim. That's what it is. Anyways, an honor, Joy and privilege, my friends. But until next time, everybody, class dismissed. Wait, make that volume. There we go.